She tweeted this out of the blue, like this came out of nowhere, and she said, Riley, me, you're truly sick, all of this campaigning because you lost a race. First of all, if she's insinuating I lost to a man, that's factually incorrect. We tied. Besides the point. Then out of the blue, she tweeted this. Bully someone your own size, which would ironically be a male. Which is hilarious, really for two reasons. Number one, she's acknowledging there are differences, like physiological, biological differences between men and women. Secondly, I'm 5'5", which might seem like a giant to someone who's like 4'7", 4'8", but I'm pretty standard size for a woman.
The audacity of Simone Biles is insufferable. This video is brought to you by SHINERGYLife.com, SHINERGYLife.com. Ladies and gentlemen, T-Force Advance is here. However, I don't like the white bottles. We wanted them in black. And I have OCD that's out of control when it comes to the color of this bottle. It just don't match my vibe. And my OCD is beneficial to you because I want these bottles out of here. So I'm going to discount this for 25% off. If for anybody that got the white bottle, 25% off, and the first 50, I'm going to sign them. I want them out of here. You can hold them as collectibles. We'll never have a white bottle ever again. So make sure you get the T-Force. This is the only opportunity for you to ever get 25% off on any of these products. I do not discount code Shynergy like we do on the Tatum store. But also, if you want a day and night drink, we have those still available. They're running. They're going out fast. We had to make another order because we're getting ready to sell out of the daytime, and we're close to selling out on nighttime. So if you want a good energy that is clean, no artificial sweeteners, no artificial colors, no artificial flavoring, you can get a good day drink, and also you can get good sleep if you get the night drink. Go check out the reviews if you want to know if the product works for people or not. Look at all these 5-star reviews. We got 5 and 4. We don't hide reviews. You know, we got somebody was mad at the packaging or something. They gave us a 3-star. But regardless of that, majority of these are 5-star reviews. Great product. I take it every single day, every single night, and it works. SHINERGYLife.com, SHINERGYLife.com. Get your products today. This woman, whom everybody stood behind her for the most part, when she punked out of the Olympics because she was her mental health, you swinging on monkey bars and you act like you going to war. You act like you strapping on the pads and you playing football. You doing balancings and stuff. Now, I admit it is kind of hard, but that was kind of lame when she did it. But everybody was like, you know what? Simone, we support you. American, we support you. Then she complained about looking masculine and how she get treated. And all this is going to make sense in a minute when you hear what she said to Riley Gaines. And then you, sis, with that nut job that was abusing them gymnast girls, you knew he did it. You didn't have the courage to stand up and say something, and you let all those girls get taken advantage of. But yet you mad at Riley Gaines for having the courage to stand up for women. You should be ashamed of yourself. All right, let's see what she said. Good thing guys don't compete against girls. He take all the gold medals. This is what she said in 2017. Good thing that guys don't compete against girls. Why, fool? Because you know guys will dominate you. All right, and this is after being woke and indoctrinated in indoctrination forms that's mainstream athletics. This is what she said to Riley Gaines. You're truly sick. All of this campaigning because you lost the race. She lost the race to a man whom you said glad that they don't play when you were doing it because they'd have took all your medals. Straight up sore losers, what she said. You should be uplifting the trans community and perhaps finding a way to make sports inclusive or create a new avenue where trans feel safe in sports. What the does that mean, Simone? What in the does that mean? How are you designated? Let me finish this. Maybe trans category in all sports, but instead you're bullying them. One thing for sure is no one in sports is safe with you around. How indeed can she say that? First of all, you're saying she's a sore loser, as if she competed and lost to a woman. Now, she did not lose to a woman. She lost to a boy that want to identify as a woman, which in your statement you said, maybe they should have a separate category. Why? because you know they have an unreasonable advantage over women. And you claim that nobody's safe around Riley. No, nobody was safe around you because you knew that man was abusing them girls and you didn't say nothing. You sat on your hands. You didn't do nothing. So technically, women weren't safe around you. Little girls were getting abused because you wouldn't say nothing. So you shut yourself up because Riley at least got the courage to say something. I don't know why people so ignorant. Don't make me go off on that. And I love Riley. I don't know her that well, but I love her. I think what she's doing is great. I don't know Simone either. But what I think you're doing is cowardice. Let's go to some other clip. We got another clip. This is Riley Gaines' response to her. And then I think we have another clip. Do we have a clip of that dude twirling? We don't have a clip. Let's go to Riley Gaines. Roll it.
Yesterday, Simone Biles, the Olympic gymnast, the best of the best, bar none. There is no one else even remotely in her league in women's gymnastics. I guess in an attempt to be inclusive and virtuous, decided to sell out all women and girls who have dreams to achieve and to succeed, and to specifically personally attack and body shame me. She tweeted this out of the blue, like this came out of nowhere, and she said, Riley, me, you're truly sick, all of this campaigning because you lost a race. First of all, if she's insinuating I lost to a man, I've lost several races in my career, that's part of being an athlete. But if she's saying I lost to a man, that's factually incorrect. We tied. Besides the point. Straight up sore loser. You should be uplifting the trans community and perhaps finding a way to make sports inclusive or creating a new avenue where trans feel safe in sports. Let me get something straight. It's my job. It's the women's job. This is what Simone Biles is saying. It's the women's job to find a way for the men's feelings to be validated, for their identity to be affirmed. That's not my job, actually, at all. So to say I should be doing this is insane. If she wants to use her platform to uplift men and women's sports, then by all means. But it's certainly not my job, and I don't believe it's the job of any woman to do this. She goes on to say, but instead you bully them. One thing's for sure, no one in sports is safe with you around. I can't even make sense of that last part, actually. Then out of the blue, she tweeted this. Bully someone your own size, which would ironically be a male, which is hilarious, really for two reasons. Number one, she's acknowledging there are differences, like physiological, biological differences between men and women in saying this. Secondly, I'm 5'5", which might seem like a giant to someone who's like 4'7", 4'8", but I'm pretty standard size for a woman. I guess like relatively muscular, right? Being an athlete, I would imagine Simone would understand that, but I weigh like 135 pounds, 5'5", of pretty much pure muscle. And again, if anyone would understand that, you would think it's Simone Biles, a woman who has historically been scrutinized for having a very muscular, masculine looking body. She was scrutinized to the point she did this whole body positivity campaign. Then she has the nerve to say that I look like a man. And not to mention, this is a woman who has been incredibly brave in calling out and witnessing the horrific sexual abuse that she and hundreds of other female gymnasts faced at the hands of one sexual predator, that predator being Larry Nassar. In the same breath, believing that vulnerable women should be forced to strip down naked in front of men in locker rooms so long as it makes the man feel happy. If Larry Nassar came out as trans, would Simone think it's responsible or safe for him to be housed in a women's prison? To be very, very clear, I could care less what Simone Biles says about me. I'm a very secure person. I know I'm on the right side of history. I'm married, so if she wants to say I look like a man, I literally could care less. The most heartbreaking part about this, for me, is the platform that she has and the amount of young girls who look up to her. That she just, in a blink of an eye, sold out to appear to be virtuous. What we saw from Simone is the definition of pulling up the ladder behind you. Something people like Megan Rapinoe have also done. I have a feeling that if Simone's inclusive dream came true, she would have 0 Olympic medals and no one would even know who she is. So, if she wants to advocate for men and women's sports, by all means, it's America. You get to do that. I get to call you stupid for it, but you get to do that. Maybe in the 28 Olympics, she can compete and pommel horse in the rings. But I am going to keep standing up for women and girls, which is just about the least controversial take on the entire planet. If you can remove yourself from the opinions of the elite, of mainstream media, of Hollywood, of any elected representation, the position that I have taken is the same position that about 90% of Americans have taken, which is that men should not be in women's sports. Simone Biles having internalized misogyny and being a male apologist was certainly not on my 2025 bingo card.
Who you think, I'm just saying, who you think prettier? Okay. Hey, you want to say that Riley Gaines looked like a man and she's 5'5". I seen Riley, she's tiny. You know, especially compared to somebody like me. I'm 6'2", 280 something. Knock the whole crew out. Look at that. I still got some little cuts on there, man. There's some cuts on it. Let's see this one. This got cuts on it. Knock the whole crew out. So I know she looks little to me, but she's very, fit and everything like that. And Simone looked like a little troll. So why you coming at another woman and objectively you don't look better than Riley Gaines? You're not even close. And Riley said something important about that nasty Nasser guy who abused so many young women. I didn't know he came out as trans. Now, the hypocrisy is if he's trans, would it be okay that he go in the locker room with girls and pull his wang out? Young girls who are, on a team and they got to go in the locker room, is it okay that he go and pull his wang out in the locker room? Can somebody, I know none of you guys believe, but who is supporting this stuff? Who thinks that it's okay? I'm telling you, there's part of me that want to do an experiment. But I also don't want to hurt people in the process of doing an experiment. But I kind of want to do an experiment. I want to identify as a girl, and I want to go in the locker room, put my thing out, and be like, I'm a girl today. I either put a wig on and say this is what I feel today, and pull my stuff out in front of these girls. You know how ridiculous that'll be? So, but why do people get to do that every day of the week in some of these left-wing cities? As ridiculous as it sounds for me to go put a wig on and go look at naked women in the locker room, it's the exact same thing that these people are doing. Let me tell you why, though. Because if you are a trans person, meaning a man turning to women, because you rarely ever hear the trans women thing, right? Where trans men, where the women turn into men. You don't hear them about them in sports. You don't hear about them anywhere. It's really these men who are taking over women's spaces by a lot. Show me a popular trans person that's a man, that's a girl turned into a man. Show me that have won an award, that's being celebrated. You'll never find one. But you'll find Dylan Mulvaney and some of these other dudes that turn into women, and they somehow the most popular trans people. You would only think that trans was one way. It's just men turning into women. Because the other way around, you don't even know these people exist. They have no platform. Nobody's talking about them. They don't exist, by and large. The ones that you talk about every single day, the ones that's getting out of TV time and ruining Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch, is the man turning to the woman. And if the man turned into the woman and he's still attracted to women, that's something ain't right with that. If y'all want to be weird, have your own locker room. That's why I don't let me say this and make it very clear. So somebody go on record of having it. I don't really care if a person is trans. I never did. I never do. I don't care. I think everybody's human, man. If a good person and you struggling with that stuff and that's your reality, I pray for you and I hope God can deliver you. But I don't care. You don't hurt my life, really. I don't know you're trans. How many trans people have I run into in Phoenix? I mean, I don't know. Probably none. Or maybe 10. I don't know, because I don't give up. But it's only when you start dealing kids and you start forcing people to have to do what you're doing is when you get a problem for me. I don't want to be involved in your trans stuff. Just do your life, man. I don't want you being in the locker room with my children and doing all that stuff. Just do your life, man. Why you trying to hurt other people? I think people should come out against trans people because they're hurting other people. You know your talent level when you transition, but yet you still transition and played against women. You knew you have there's no such thing as a person being trans that never did sports, transition, and all of a sudden they doing sports. This trans person was doing the sport when they were a boy this whole time. And then they knew how fast they could run because you know what your times are. You practicing every day. And when you go through the process of saying, I want to finally transition, you know that you're still better than most women. And you do it anyway. And you're standing on the podium with your fist in the air anyway. It's diabolical to me.